how do you jump from this to this? Today, I'm going to show you a framework for learning complex new tunes really fast. And we're going to look at Tom Sawyer by Rush because it is a complex tune. All right, let's jump right into it. Complex music is tough to absorb. If you could do it instantly, what a world it would be. However, it has to come in stages. I've identified 3 stages of learning complex music on the drums. Number 1, minimum viable performance. Number 2, military precision. And number 3, mastery. Number 1, minimum viable performance. Think of it this way. If you suddenly found out that you had to play Tom Sawyer by Rush tomorrow night in front of a large group of people, and you didn't know the song at all, and it's pretty difficult, and you feel it's a bit out of your league, what would you do?
Let's do another one.
The point of a minimum viable performance? To teach you the song before you can accurately play the song. Once you have it imprinted in your mind, learning the details will be much easier because you understand where in the song they're supposed to be. You're trying to make it performance ready, but at its minimum.
Come on, man. Let's do something that really cooks. Something that cooks.
Will you remember every feel and every detail of what's on the record? Oh, no. Will you play the beats exactly the same way that Neal did? Potentially not. A note to all perfectionists. This is going to feel unnatural. However, if you want to learn something complex, you have to start somewhere. If you jump straight in and try and learn all the details, it's slow progress because you could learn all the details to maybe one part, and then one bar will take all of your time and you're trying to get that exactly right, and then you still haven't figured the song. You need to get this overview, this minimum viable performance, like sketching something out. So what's your sketch going to look like? How would this look in reality?
All right.
Let's take that starting beat, this one. Let's say the issue you have right off the bat is speed. This is pretty fast, right? So let's say you go, okay, I'm sure Neal Peart, because he's wonderful and excellent and outrageously lovely, is playing it all with one hand. I'm sure that he is. However, can I do that right now in my learning the song minimum viable performance? Maybe not. So you need to think of another way of approaching the tune. How could you get this spirit of the tune without actually playing it with one hand? Perhaps you could use 2. And there you have a minimum viable way of playing that beat. Now, of course, in time, as we go up the framework, of course you want to be able to play it more like Neal played it, sure. However, in the interim, while you're just learning the song, why let speed be a stumbling block? Why let that happen when you could just play it with 2 hands? Now, I'm not saying that playing it with 2 hands would necessarily come naturally. Maybe there's some other stuff to work out. But if speed is just a real barrier, then this is a way that you can get through, because coordination is something that we can always learn. You can always learn new coordination. Speed is a lot of things like technique, stamina, all of these different elements, and especially stamina takes time to build. We're looking for minimum viable, right? We don't have time. We want to get this out as soon as possible. And another reason this is really good is that it gives you wins. You want to get those quick wins so that you feel motivated to carry on and then learn the harder stuff. Let's take another example. Let's say you can play up to speed some of the time, but then it gets tiring. If that's the case, what if you found strategic ways to drop out the 16th notes every now and then? Let's take the first entrance of the big riff about 13 seconds into the song. The beat here goes like this. Playing those 16th notes all through, maybe that's a bit of a mission. You know what's also a bit of a mission? Moving on to the cymbals. It's a long way. Right? Maybe that's tiring. Well, you could keep the spirit of the song and maybe just miss out a few as you go to the crashes. That could be a great time to give your hand a little break, like this. See what I'm saying? So instead of playing all through, you find a strategic place to drop out. Or anywhere else that you imagine. Then you have the flow that continues. However, you're getting this strategic rest for a whole beat, and those beats are quite long. Slower, just so you can see. At this point, perhaps you're saying, Pete, doesn't this feel like cheating? Well, the truth is, accuracy is not your goal at this time. You'll remember the song much more quickly if you give it a go and learn the overview first. Hey friend, we'll jump back to the video in just a moment, but I want to offer you an option to fast track your drumming skills. You see, there's a lot of great content out there, but the fastest way I ever found to improve was to find someone who could deliver and develop a personalised curriculum that would help me play what I wanted to play. And because it's been so powerful for me, I want to offer it to you right now. You can jump on a free one-to-one call with me. On that call, we will discuss 3 things. Number 1, what are your goals? Number 2, we'll diagnose what's stopping you hitting those goals. Number 3, we'll map out your next 5 moves towards that playing breakthrough that you need. Now, there's 2 reasons I offer this. Firstly, because I love seeing people win. Secondly, because I do have a program called Pro Level Pathfinder, where I help students implement this curriculum that we map out on the call. And if I reckon you're a good fit for that program, we'll definitely talk about that. But regardless, the purpose of this initial call is to see you succeed and have all the joy you can possibly get from playing the drums. Link to book your call in the description, and I'll see you there. Once you can play the whole song at a minimum viable performance level, it's time to raise your game. It's time to work on that military precision. This could mean a number of things. It depends what is the block for you playing the tune. Let's take an example. There are lots of detailed fills in this song, and they're very specific. They're very repeatable. In fact, Neal wrote, constructed, and repeated parts more often than he improvised. And so, let's take a look at one of those. About 2 minutes in, this fill happens. Your minimum viable performance may have looked like this. Now, you want to nail this exact fill. And that is the summary of level 2, this military precision. You go, okay, now I know where it comes, I will learn it. So in this case, you hear dabba dat 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 dubba dut dut dut. So you've got. Then you can work that into its proper place. In this case, you hear 3 beats beforehand. You work on this for every element of the song that you think needs tightening, or that you want to do exactly what the drummer did. Another example, perhaps you did start playing the tune like this, with both hands. Now, in the meantime, alongside learning the song, you've been pushing your speed, working on this. And now, perhaps you're ready to try it at speed. The last level, mastery, needs the least explanation. It's exactly what it sounds like. When you've achieved a minimum viable performance and then honed that performance into military precision, when you can do it all and execute each detail in sequence without thinking about it, that's when you know you have achieved mastery, you have mastered the song. Sometimes these things can sound a little bit abstract and you want to see cool drum beats and you want to know how to play fast and all of that, but I really think this stuff is foundational, and you could now approach tunes that you thought were way too hard or things you thought were way too difficult. Don't be limited. Don't assume that you can't do it. Be creative. Drumming is creative. Music is creative. Find a way. Think about, how could I play something like this? How could I approximate it right now? And once you can do that, it's much easier to then practice the exact specifics that you want to master.
All right, guys, listen, this is the blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Once you know where you're going in the song, the next question is, can you go fast enough? Is that right-hand hi-hat speed just punishing right now? And how do you approach it if it's way out of your reach? Oh, and let me know in the comments, how close are you to that speed? Is it easy for you, or does it not even seem possible? I've definitely been there, and I want to show you my strategy for improving your hand speed and doing it for a tune like this. So, as usual, the video's here, I'll see you there.